This podcast is brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
Final hour of Ben and Woods, and we got a treat for you already in studio. Let's go right to him. You remember him from his time with the San Diego Chargers and the longtime sports anchor at NBC 739. Jim Laslavic is here with us, and joining us shortly, Uncle Teddy Leitner is entering the building as well. But Laz, it is so good to see you. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
You kind of you retired, and like a lot of people just stick around and you see him a lot. You've kind of dropped off the radar a little bit the last few years.
I kind of did. I did the viewing public a favor.
No.
I mean, all that. I was on TV long enough, and so I think that me disappearing was not a bad thing.
What have you been doing?
Well, I love San Diego County, and I explore the county. I have a little place up in the hills, and I go there and hang out, and there's nobody there.
That's fantastic.
I know. So I get to do that, and I'm busy around my neighborhood.
Sure. And now you get into business with Uncle Teddy. You guys are starting this new venture. Started this new venture, and here we
shocking,
right?
Shocking that Ted would call me.
How did he convince you?
It was Ted.
It's Ted. It's Uncle Teddy. Well, and here we go. Hey, look, big media appearance. Look who's late. Look who's late. I mean, this is what happened. I work with a guy too. Our first meeting here at 97.3 The Fan, our interview, if you will.
Yeah.
I was like 30 minutes late.
No,
yeah, he was.
I went to the wrong place.
He went to the wrong.
I went to the
and
wrong
we're
place.
sitting there trying to vamp for 30 minutes with this new guy that would become our boss. And I thought, what am I getting myself into here? Working with a diva.
Unlike you, Laz, who is genuinely humble, I only pretend to be humble.
Correct.
And I have a massive ego.
That's exactly right.
Baloney.
That's exactly right.
Baloney. But I've never known you to be late.
Oh, it was.
I'm rarely late. It was
excruciating.
it was one of the only times in my life. I just went to the wrong. We were meeting at a coffee shop somewhere. Starbucks. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's like 9 of them, and I guess I just put down the wrong one, and I was in the wrong spot.
Well,
I go, where is everybody?
Uncle Teddy knows where we are, so
we have to stand.
Yeah.
Stand at attention.
Stand at attention.
Yeah, we stand when Uncle Teddy walks.
Uncle Teddy, we stand.
Bum bum ba bum bum ba bum ba bum ba bum.
What's the word of the day?
Baldican?
You get him a baldican.
Baldican.
Yeah, you're down, right down there.
We're gonna look at
Wherever you want to be, Ted.
right next to Laz, your new colleague on the podcast.
He's my old colleague. You know that.
That's right.
It's so very 21st century of you guys. Are you going to get a TikTok account too and everything? I mean, are you going all the way in?
Yeah. TikTok. Freaking chance. Please get a TikTok account. I mean, it would be incredible. How you doing, Uncle Teddy?
I'm good.
It's good to have you, my friend.
I'm good.
All right.
We were just talking to Laz how you convinced him to emerge from his hibernation. We hadn't seen him in so long. I thank you because it's good to have a little more Laz in our lives, and it took a conversation from Uncle Teddy to get him out from his retirement life.
No, it's true. He's a huge name in the community, and like you say, we were colleagues, and we were in different offices in different little parts of the newsroom. But I was on the early news. He was on the weekends and the late and all that stuff. So we've known each other 1,000 years. I covered him.
Yeah.
I covered him when he was a wonderful linebacker for the San Diego Chargers.
Indeed.
Not Los Angeles, the San Diego Chargers, I'm proud to say. And I can't wait because we've been in broadcast operations together. We've never actually done a real broadcast performance together.
I always had to sit at Teddy's knee.
Yeah. Yeah. I do the same thing with him.
But this guy, he was.
You called Chargers games and you did as well, but never at the same time.
No.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I did those. Hooter.
I love this. They have their own shorthand communication.
No, the tight end.
Curran.
Pat
Curran,
Yes.
yes.
How long? I mean, it's really 30-something years since I've seen Pat.
Yeah.
And I loved Pat. And it was absolutely amazing. And we had a moment there where you guys know this, when you have what they call the billboards. Charger football is brought to you by.
Yep.
And for the the second half, and this is a former tight end, but still into the game so much. And so he reads it. He says, "Second half billboards are brought to you by." And I laughed so hard. And after that game, I went to rejoin the Padres. And every time I sat on the plane and I thought about that, I got hysterical by myself. And no offense to Pat, but you don't read that. You just say Charger football's brought to you by. You don't read second half billboards.
Second half billboards.
You can understand this better than me.
Oh, yeah.
It was hilarious. And the other one was a game we're doing against the Dallas Cowboys in exhibition football at home. A ballpark that's not there anymore. And D.C. Aikens had delivered food at halftime,
Yep.
and we ate. And so the Cowboys are going toward a touchdown. And in the back, we hear the engineer go,
Too much pastrami sandwich there. Yeah.
so loud. It picked up on all our microphones. And I'd never heard this before, but Curran, with great timing, says, "What? Somebody step on a duck?"
Oh, my God. Fantastic.
me.
Oh, Woods does this all the
I do it
time.
all the
Yeah, we
time.
have-
And I laughed so hard, I missed 2 Dallas plays. Coming out of the huddle. Like a 9-year-old in church or school where you're not allowed to laugh. They'll kill you. They'll kill you. Call your dad, throw you out of school. I've experienced all this because I couldn't shut up. And that's Pat, and that's the Chargers, and that's Jim. And now we're back to wherever the hell the question was.
I don't remember what the question was, other than tell us about the new podcast. I mean, what's the concept? What's the idea? What are you guys going to be talking
You
about?
just experienced it.
Yeah, there
You're
it
gonna
is.
have, yeah, and
Wind him up, let him
you
go.
won't be able to see it, but I'll be sitting there nodding.
Throw in a couple.
No,
yeah.
Jim,
That's right, Ted. That's right, Ted.
Jimmy will be. You might be able to see him or not, but Jimmy will be turning sideways, and they'll say, "How come?" "I'm just trying to get a word in edgewise. I'm turning sideways." Yeah. No, Jim, you tell him what it's about because I have no idea. I have no idea what the show is about, and I never had an idea on Channel 8 every day what was going to be on and what I was going to say, and I want that to be the same thing on the air where Jim and I talk. And it's like my favorite author, Don Winslow, who wrote about the surfing community here years and years ago, among other things now, is crime novels. And he talks about the surfers out there, bobbing around waiting for the next wave, and they're talking story. That's what the surfers call it. We're just talking story. That's what Jim and I are going to do. Talking story about San Diego sports, and I hope everything else, as I did on my talk shows, and everything else talking about Hollywood and crazy stuff and whatever.
I love this. Ted said, "Go ahead, Jim. You tell him about it." And I'm going to like this gig.
See, there's a medical term, they call it verbal diarrhea.
That's right.
Right, and that's the problem, but we'll try to cure that as fast
We
as we
just
can.
got a comment a few minutes ago in our YouTube chat. Uncle Teddy could do a 4-hour show without exhaling. Pure beauty.
Pure beauty.
Just say, these chairs are so comfortable, too. Ted starts talking. I start leaning back.
It's the old bad Hollywood joke. You open the refrigerator, the light goes on, he does 3 minutes.
That's right.
Thinking it's a TV camera. No, it's not. Shut up.
It's so good. I'm so interested to see where it goes. Now, will it be video podcast? Is it audio only? How are you guys going to
It's
do
video.
it? Video?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what else can I tell you about it? Gee, I don't know. I will say this. I've been on X because I thought, and I don't know, you guys don't do politics, so I'm not trying to do politics. I just thought that as a citizen of the country, and the First Amendment's still there, it was cowardice of me to not speak up of what I think is happening politically in the country when the Constitution is on trial and under attack and so forth. I'm not the only one that feels this way. But I don't think the country needs another political show, so I don't intend to do that, nor does Jim. But having gone on and made comments about this administration, you should see the replies on X to me.
Well, I've seen them.
Okay,
I've seen them.
so you've seen them.
Yeah.
You've seen them. One person intimated that I was having, how should I put this, sexual relations with pigs.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah,
Such
Twitter.
anger.
Welcome to Twitter.
No, yeah, and that's Twitter. That's the anger in the country. Don't give us your politics. Who the hell are you to give us your? I'm just a citizen. I'm no intellectual. I'm some sports guy. No big deal. I gave scores for a living. I'm not smart. I'm not that smart. But I think everyone should speak up when they think something needs to be spoken about. That's all.
That's so true, but I have to add that when you gave the scores, you were accurate. All I did was give the scores.
That's right.
But
When
you
you-
gave the correct scores.
Exactly.
And I appreciate that.
Exactly. When you give your opinion, you're not giving the correct opinion. and that's always, you talk religion, you talk politics, you talk anything, even you talk sports. People want to argue.
Sports may be the worst of all of it right now. I mean, really, it gets. I told my wife the other day. I said, "There's a different feeling this year. It's only been at the time it had been 5 games or something." And I said, "The bloodlust from the fan base. That's the word I used. It was bloodlust, and coming after me for anything. I was like, bro, I'm not out there swinging. I'm not out there throwing. I'm not making these decisions. Just
It's an angry
relax,
no,
let it play out a little bit, and see what happens. And now,
season.
now the Pods are at 5-5, and everybody's
Exhaling.
exhaling a little bit.
Yeah, Boston was nice.
That was really nice.
I missed that. I miss everything about.
Do you miss it? It was
I
like
miss-
22
I
degrees
miss
there.
everything about being cold and 22 degrees.
All right.
The coldest I ever was in a broadcast was in May in Wrigley Field with the old suspended press box across the way there. And my God, it was unbelievable. No football game, not at Madison, Wisconsin, nowhere. So cold. And they always do that. They schedule the West Coast teams to go east and Midwest in April. What do they expect the weather to be?
I know.
That's no good. 20 degrees the other day with a 40-mile-an-hour wind in Boston. So I do miss it, though. And I love Fenway, so I miss that. But they played well there. They played well yesterday. They'll be fine.
Laz is laughing at 35 degrees. We were just talking during the break. He played in the Freezer Bowl in Cincinnati. You said the wind chill was
Minus 59, I think.
minus
Something crazy.
59.
But the
Chargers,
actual-
Bengals, AFC Championship game. That was 1980?
No,
Somewhere around there?
82 or
82?
3, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
early
yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
Negative 58.
Wind chill was awful. It was minus, the actual temperature like minus 19, minus
God.
20, something like that.
See, now,
then-
I don't know that they would even
Isn't that
play
fatal?
that game today.
Would they play that game today?
Yeah, they
that was
would.
the question.
Yeah, they would.
They would?
yeah.
I wasn't
they would.
sure. I thought the safety police would come out and say, what if a fan died? We'd be held liable.
It's the NFL.
They'd
Do
have
you
to
think
move
they care
it.
at
I
all?
don't know.
Well, it was, it was the frostbite too, because guys who could not wear gloves because of their position, ended up like the quarterback, ended up with frostbite, and it was.
I was going to
Unbelievable.
say,
affected them for years.
I don't know if they would play that game today, but what I do know is if they did, there would be at least a couple of hardos that wear the no sleeves because they want to show how this is
tough they are.
Like, did anybody wear?
That wouldn't be me.
Yeah, okay. I was going to ask. Like, you were all
I bundled
sleeved
up.
Yeah, it's amazing because
Yeah.
every time ESPN Classic does a cold game, it's the Packers, right? And Green Bay,
Yep.
and the voice of John Facenda on the frozen tundra.
But that was the week after
But
the
this
Miami
Jim's-
game, right?
Right, which
it
was
humid and hot
and
and
overtime.
sticky
Yeah.
and overtime and Kellen
And-
Winslow.
No, the
you
one
know,
that
hanging by a
the one that
thread
Jim
at the
played
end.
in is the coldest game
Of
all time. All time. I don't know about college, but the National Football League, without question.
Yeah.
Without question.
Man.
Amazing. Simply amazing. Yeah.
Let's take a little time out. We'll come back. We'll have more with Uncle Teddy, Jim Laslavic, their new podcast, thoughts on the Padres, and more. Ben and Woods, glad to have some luminaries in studio with us.
Where?
Check traffic and back with more on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Spinning some yarns in here on Ben & Woods.
We've got Ted Leitner, Jim Laslavic in studio. By the way, Ben & Woods brought to you by David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com so we know a guy if either of you run into some
you.
legal hassles
Thank you so much.
at this point. But
Make sure to go subscribe on YouTube to SD Radio Joe. I just got a text from their producer, Joe Nelson, who's a guy I know very well. He said, click videos and they'll find it. And he's working on the audio-only podcast now. iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, etc. SD Radio Joe is
What
where
do
you
they
can
say?
find it.
Anywhere you get your podcast.
Anywhere you get your podcast. But I just asked Laz a question, ex-football player, linebacker, right? Tough guy. And tough era to play in. You know, there was a lot more extracurriculars in the huddle, and really everything. I mean, you're probably guilty of a few yourself. I likened it to baseball because what you run into sometimes with the previous generation or the 2 generations ahead is they watch, the modern game now, and they say, this sucks. This is terrible. We were better. We were tougher. Our guys our guys used to throw 8 innings a game, and these guys only throw 4, and they get a pat on the back.
We would never go play video games after the game.
Right.
We're going to go out and
We're gonna
pound
go out and
beers
drink
and
whiskey,
drugs
right.
and-
Well,
So-
let me say in football, none of the above.
None of the
These
above.
guys they're faster.
Yeah.
They're as tough, if not tougher. The game has gotten a little different. I kind of of liked the game when I played. It was more of a 3 yards in a cloud of dust,
Yeah.
which meant if you were a defensive player, you buckle up your chin strap and get ready for people to come at you.
Got to hit guys.
Yeah, and now it's like I'm not sure a player with my skills would play much. I would probably be needed for covering kickoffs or something like that, or
Which they
maybe
barely
on
do anymore either.
4th and 1. They need me on 4th and 1, Ted.
Bring in Laz. Send in Laz.
Yeah, just put them out there. But now it's so much of a finesse. There's so much of a passing league.
Yeah.
In that I don't enjoy that aspect of it. I still enjoy watching the game, but I wish it was more of a running league.
And I'm with you because I you do see some of the quarterback hits now, and they're like flag. I'm like, there's no way that's a flag. Like
He breathed on him.
Like you getting a clean shot at the quarterback is probably what you laid in bed at night and dreamed about. If they said, Laz, we're bringing you on the blitz, and they drop back and you got a clean shot, that's probably what you dreamed about. And you were allowed then to do damage to that quarterback. Now you cannot. You see guys run in with their hands up before they even hit the guy.
Two-hand touch.
Two-hand touch.
Two-hand touch above the waist.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like
That's
a chest
it.
bump.
And if you listen carefully, you can hear Butkus spinning in his grave.
Oh, no doubt.
Because he lived to
for
hurt
it.
you.
Sure.
He lived to hurt you. I talked to my color guy when I did Eagles TV was Chuck McNarrick.
Oh, yeah.
The last of the 60-minute men who knocked out Gifford and all that stuff. And he told an Eagle game against the Bears, and they had this lead fullback play that they worked on to block Butkus, and they run this with the lead fullback, and the lead fullback is just disappeared. He'd already crushed him, and then he goes after the running back. So they come to the sideline, and the offensive coordinator says, "What happened to the lead fullback, the blocker?" And the other guy says, "I think Butkus ate him."
I think he's dead. Yeah,
True story.
He might have
True
killed
story.
him. Yeah.
And you would be in the locker rooms after games, and the training room after a Bear game would have this guy bleeding, this guy big, and the coach would say, "What the hell's going on?" And the trainer would say, literally, "So help me God, Butkus." Butkus.
Yeah.
And those guys were out there to kill, and the rules were not bent so much toward the offense back then. It was a different game. But Jim sounds like Jerry Coleman, always, who people say, "Oh, boy, it's better when you were with the Yankees." No. These guys are better athletes. Yeah. We have better sports medicine. They can fix an ACL. We couldn't fix an ACL back then. And I think we talked baseball. We lived baseball more. We stuck around and we talked baseball. We weren't involved in our investments and talking about golf and stuff like that. But in terms of athletes, like Jim said, 100% better now.
But, you talk Butkus, and I remember my rookie year. It was his final year in the league, and I was on the sidelines. We played the Bears, and I was completely distracted. I was just mesmerized by him out there limping around as he did late in his career.
Yeah.
And a phenomenal player. We had some phenomenal players.
No question.
The Bears, I mean...
What an era! I mean, so for you too, you're playing linebacker for the Chargers, and every now and then, I remember my very first year of pad football. There was a running back by the name of Charles Teasley. I was a sophomore. He's 6'4", 235, and he runs the ball. And they have me playing strong safety. I had one attempt at a tackle. I go, "This isn't for me. I'm done." And I walked off the bat. I was like, I never went back. For you,
you should have just gone for the ankles.
I know. For you, well, if I went for his ankles, his knees would have hit me in the face, even though I had a face mask on. But was there a guy that you're like, whew, he's going to be hitting the hole hard today, boys? Who are the guys that you feared going up against?
Larry Zonka was a pain.
Oh yeah. God. Speaking of large,
Marv Hubbard was a pain. He was a big guy, strong. O.J. Simpson was really more physical than a lot of backs built like him. And so he could run around you or over you, and that was the problem. That's a problem.
Play against OJ, dude. That's crazy.
And if that doesn't work,
that's a bad option.
He can run around you and through you, and he did.
And he did. And he did.
I was on the field when OJ set the single game rushing record. We beat them like 27-7. They just kept running the ball, but they never got into the end zone. But I was on the field when he set the record, which has now been broken.
That's incredible.
In studio here with Ted Leitner, Jim Laslavic. They got their new podcast that started up. Caesar in our chat, you just mentioned Jerry Coleman, Teddy. He says, please ask Uncle Teddy for a Jerry Coleman story. I have to...
Just one?
I have to thank you, though, because I think it was 2003, and your Channel 8 responsibilities forced you back to San Diego during the week during spring training, so they needed someone to fill in, and I got to do 4 games with Jerry.
I didn't know
the only games I've ever broadcast, and I got to sit in the booth and do 4 spring training baseball games sitting next to him. And even if I never get to do another baseball game in my life, I will always get to say,
that's awesome.
I got to sit next to a Hall of Famer and watch him really not care because it was spring training, but it was still Jerry, and it was the thrill of my life to do that. And you got to do it for decades.
And that's exactly 35 years for a kid who watched him play second base on Channel 11 in New York for the Yankees, and suddenly we're side by side, and we're friends. He's like my dad, my mentor, my brother, and I got this no matter what. Not just the game, no matter. And the Padres are not always terrific then, but I got to be with Jerry Coleman, and it gives me goosebumps to this day. And I would see in travel, he would introduce me to all these people: Mickey Mantle, Moose Skowron, Juan Marichal, all these guys. And then when they get me alone, they would say, hey, your partner could really, I know he knocks himself and says he couldn't hit, couldn't do that. This was a terrific ball player. They say Mazeroski turned the double play. Right there was Jerry Coleman with him. Was right there, a terrific player who got a basketball scholarship to USC. That's what a great athlete Jerry was. And he turned it down because he was just waiting to be 18 to join the Marine Corps. Didn't care about baseball. Didn't care about the Yankees, didn't care about anything but his country. And I think of him all the time because of that, truly. Now, you wanted a story. So we're in Cleveland. Remember the drummer, the guy with the drum and the crazy the frizzy afro hair?
Sure.
He's banging the drum, and he's right below us in what they call the loge. And Jerry has no idea who this guy is. So it's bang, bang, bang. He's right below us. And Jerry says, hey, who is that guy? Teddy, who is this guy? I said, Jerry, don't you remember? He's the one who they threw out of the stadium because the elderly people were complaining about the drum. So he goes to court, and the judge rules he can get back in, but he has to buy a ticket for himself and a ticket for the drum. So help me God. That's how they split the baby down the middle and all that stuff and let him back in. So that's why he's here, Jerry. He's back in, and he's banging his drum. And on the air, Jerry says, well, let him go home and bang someone else.
Oh, there we go. Great.
So, being Jerry with no intent whatsoever, he wonders why I'm falling down and Dave Marcus is turning red like he always did when he laughed so hard. I would look back at Marcus and he's just turning red and gagging with laughter. And then we go to the commercial break and Jerry says, What? I said, Jerry, you said go home and... No, I didn't. I said go home and bang something else.
Something else.
Right, something else. And so... Jerry, put your headphones on. Dave, tell him to play it for him back in the studio. They play it for him back in the studio. Jerry looks at me, smirk on his face, takes his headphones off and says, yeah, I guess I did say that.
Yeah. Did he ever tell you any stories, Uncle Teddy, about the old Yankees going out to Toots Shores and Mickey Mantle and Martin and all those guys?
And they would see Howard Cosell, who hung around there all the time because all the great athletes were there, all the Giants, all the Yankees, etc. And Cosell, because Charlie Connerly, Chuck is the name, Chuck and Charlie Connerly, the quarterback of the Giants, was number 42. Jackie Robinson at the time, playing for the Brooklyn Dodgers, was 42. And Jerry was number 42 for the Yankees. So Cosell would always go into his routine in front of everybody. Gerald Francis Coleman, of the New York Yankees, the wrong number 42.
Oh, my God.
And I said, Jerry, what'd you say to him? I told him to do something that is physically impossible to do.
Stick your head up your house, probably.
Oh, so you were a big Cosell fan too? Oh yeah, we were all big Cosell fans.
That's incredible.
And it was just it was a golden era of baseball.
Yeah, man.
When you could go. It was, although in terms of attendance and television ratings and all that, this is the golden year of baseball.
That's true,
and that's a fact. True. And that's a fact.
Especially here in San Diego. And as much as, it pained us, Laz, when the Chargers left, it's changed this town quite a bit.
It has.
The Padres have probably been the biggest beneficiaries of the Chargers leaving and going to L.A.
Absolutely. And I get so annoyed when people call us a bad sports town. We are not. We got stuck with bad ownership. We are not a bad sports town.
Nope. You're 100%.
You guys prove it every day.
100%. 100%. And I remember the 84 playoffs with the Cubs. Jerome Holtzman, veteran writer, Hall of Fame writer for the Chicago Tribune, got to know him a little bit. He's the one that actually baseball asked him, we need a new save rule. Can you come up with a fairer, better save rule?
Nice.
And the one that they use now, Jerome came up with.
That's incredible.
But they put it in 1969, where you got to come in, you got to face a batter, you got to finish up the game, end the game, and all that stuff. That's his rule from 1969. So Jerry asked me, this crowd, meaning the Padre crowd in '84, when we came back, and Templeton went out there and waved his hat, and they went just nuts. Your skin would crawl with goosebumps. And Holtzman said, "Is it like this all the time?" I said, "Well, Jerry, we've never been in the playoffs before, but these fans are so great. They have been so patient. They love this Padre baseball. And now look at them. Now that they have a winner, look at him." He said, "Damn, this crowd, loudest crowd I've ever seen in my life."
That's awesome, man.
You know, and Charger fans were that way too.
Oh, hell yeah.
They welcomed us back when we won or when we lost in the playoffs, and it was amazing that the love and the attention they gave us. And it's a shame that they got rewarded with a team moving north.
Yeah, people say the last
Ouch.
few years, there were a lot of opposing fans there. Yeah, because the Chargers didn't want the fans to show up. They were trying to move to Los
Make it
Angeles.
easier.
Of course, San Diego's not going to support a team that is actively talking about moving to Los Angeles.
Plus, it's the nature of our town. I'm fine with that. I'm fine that so many of us are from someplace else. Guess what? I was raised a Pittsburgh Pirate fan, and my big year was 1960. Bill Mazeroski hits the home run and win it all
broke
against
my
the
heart.
Yankees.
Broke my heart, my Yankees. My Yankees.
Meanwhile, I was running home from All Saints School trying to get to watch the final couple innings, and sure enough, we beat your Yankees.
And that Yankee, if you ever look at scores, were 10-0 Yankees, 16-3 Yankees.
Yeah.
The Yankees were so great, the Pirates were not, and yet it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They were good, but that Yankee team was absurd, as they was the next year. With 61 50-plus home runs for Mantle and Maris and all those guys, the home run record, and at the end of that game, Mantle sat. Jerry told me this. Jerry was in the broadcast at that time at the Yankees after he retired. Mantle sat on the bench crying like a baby that they had lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates. They were the New York Yankees, and it was crushing.
You can still name that starting lineup. That was just magical. And to be 8 years old at the time, come on.
And
my son's age.
Just to bring it full circle, of course, Padres are in Pittsburgh. They're wearing the 9 patch, and you saw Maz are carved into the outfield grass as they're honoring him this season, like we're honoring Randy Jones this season here in San Diego.
Rightfully so.
Gentlemen, it was so good to see you guys.
That was good to see you guys.
Laz, thank you.
Thank you.
Ted, thank you for dragging him out into the public again. We just needed to see a little more Laz in our lives.
I mean, Laz, you're
He
living
is
the
now,
dream.
more importantly,
You hung him up.
after my political comments, Jim is my bodyguard.
That's right. That's right.
So don't even think about anything.
He's still built.
I got the big guy right next to me, man, number 54.
He looks good.
The San Diego, no wrong 54. This is the 54
I can
of the
still
Chargers.
outrun Ted. So I'll be fine. Ted, I'm not so sure about, but I'll be fine.
Thank you,
Gentlemen,
fellas.
thank you so much.